Hey, it's Don here from the board. Thank you for coming along and checking out another video. Now, I've just got home from work. There was a card in my mailbox which said I had a small package waiting for me at the post office, so I headed back out and I went and got it. I wasn't actually quite sure what it was because I've actually been hanging out for a couple of things. For example, I bought the TS100 soldering iron off the internet and it's also coming to me, so I was thinking maybe it could have been that. But what I actually found was it was the Delta Split 75 package that I had also been in as the group buy. Now the Delta Split 75 is a 75% keyboard. It came as a kit which was PCBs plus components if you wanted the components, but there was no case at all for it. The case files were actually released, so I'm going to have to either get some plates cut using a third party, or if I can fit it on the print bed on my 3D printer, I might actually be able to print the parts myself. But we'll have to see how that goes. So it is a really interesting design because unlike other formats where the split has already been decided for you, the Delta Split 75 is designed so that you can customize the position of the B key. Now if we have a look at a standard stagger, so it's a staggered split keyboard. That's my B key right there. Now, a lot of keyboards will actually determine which way the stagger split is done, either on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, but they've gone and made it so that you can choose which side you want it on to the point where you can actually have the B key on both hands. Of course, that means you can't put them together because you're going to have the B key in the way. Supposedly it was designed as a snap-off, but we'll see how it goes. So it came in a box, and the box is about yay big or so, but I don't want to show the full profile because it's got the addresses from the sender and my address, of course. Not that I would say it's terribly hard to find me if you really wanted to. I would have covered it up and everything, but I'm just taking an opportunity while the wife and baby are actually out, so they're not so much distracting here. So let's get it open and see how it goes. Just a couple of bits of tape and alrighty, so what we've got here in the box, I'm gonna say this came from Singapore. Now I don't think this was very effective packaging. It's literally just a bit of Singaporean newspaper boshed up. That's alright, it's kind of acceptable. It's just one layer of bubble wrap that's gone around it, and I mean, okay, diodes, it's not a big deal, they're going to be fine, but that's a little bit disappointing. I mean, the box did suffer a little bit of crush damage, but I don't know, maybe another layer would have been nicer, maybe a bit more than just a crumpled up bit of newspaper. I just hope if you got in on this buy and you received your parcel, it wasn't damaged. Now, it looks to be okay, but I guess we'll see. Now, I don't know if there's anything actually in here. I'm guessing probably not. Doesn't look like it, and it seems to be from the real estate section. So we can see 5'1", 11 Lower Greylang, 121 square meter, 4 bedroom high, FLR corner, 5 minutes walk to Kallang Mort, immediate submission. So cool bananas. Yeah, properties. All right, into the bin it can go. Didn't serve very much for packaging, but I guess for entertainment's sake there was a couple of seconds in there. So let's shuffle some things on my very messy desk so we can have a look at these bits and pieces, and the box can go out of the way. Oh, well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. One layer, it's actually broken through the bubble wrap. Now, I don't know how roughly it was handled by a Singaporean post or Australia post, but that PCB has made it through that layer. I don't actually remember if it was a first time situation group buy, but perhaps if you're going to do any future work, you might want to revisit your packaging options. Just saying. Alrighty, bit of tape, and here we go, some components. So there we have two Pro Micros, by the looks of it. It's just got some magic tape. They have been cut open. Have they been pre-flashed? I'm not sure. The packets have been slashed and taped. All right. That's a little bit unusual. Maybe they were... I can't remember if they said that they were doing that because they wanted to check that all the Pro Micros worked. Maybe if that's the case, then I'm okay with that. I don't mind. They're still electrostatically protected in the bag. It'll absorb any charge, so that's not an issue. I just might have completely forgot if that was what they were planning on doing. So there's 2 Pro Micros there. All well and good. There's a little bit of a PCB which looks like it's got some directions. So it says, I'm just going to hold that up and see if it'll come into focus. Come on. Really? You want to focus underneath it? There we go. So install diodes, install Pro Micro headers, install TRRS jacks, install switches, install Pro Micro, and then it says it 4 times, install Pro Micro last. So obviously if you don't do it in the correct order, you're going to run into some problems, and it's actually been printed on both sides with the silkscreen, which I think is kind of a nice move. At least it's instructions that come with. And then there are the 2 TRRS jacks. All right. And here is the actual PCB itself. Now, there we go. So down the bottom, it actually says here, Delta Split 75 R2, revision 2, XYXJJ 2007. So that's the name of the person on Reddit. And this is the left hand. And you can see there's the actual B1. And then if we pick up the other half, and of course up here is the Pro Micro and the 4-pin TRS. On the other half, if we get that correctly orientated, there's the Pro Micro on that side, there's the TRS jack on there, and down over here it says Delta Split 75 round revision 2, XYXJ 2007, and right. And it's a little bit fuzzy because it's not playing nice and focusing where I want it to focus. But there we go. And there's the B2. Okay. So if I lay it out on the table, there's the actual layout on the table. The bubble wrap's being a little bit glary there. There's the 2 Bs. And if we overlap it, it actually fits just like a full size. Well, not full size, but a 75%. And then, of course, it's up to you whether you want to keep the left or the right. Or if you want to be a little bit crazy, you can have both, but it just means you won't be able to put 2 halves together. And if you can hear red square, it's because my daughter has just wandered in and started playing with her little chair. Hello. You're home. So, yeah. You going to say hello? You've come home? Had a good day out, have you? That's pretty much it. I'm kind of excited to be able to build this at some point. I'm actually hoping that my TS100 is going to come in very soon, which means I can actually build it with that. That would be really great, but I'm not in a rush, obviously. I'm not quite sure what switches I'm going to put into this because I hadn't actually bought switches specifically for this build. I had some tactile grays, which I was going to use for a 60% build, so I only ordered 70, a couple of spares, and of course when I got this, it means I'm actually going to be short some. However, I probably do have enough spares that I can put into that sort of column over there, which should take care of most of that as well. So I think we'll wrap it at that. It's just a nice quick look. The PCB looks in pretty good condition, doesn't seem like there's any damage. There's pad positions if you want SMD diodes on it, and it's got the through holes, of course, for the through hole diodes, which is what I prefer because I'm not very good at SMD components anyway, not yet. Maybe I'll get better because the T100, oh, you dropped your bit of plastic, have you? Has a much finer tip, and therefore I can have a go with that on those SMD practice kits. Okay, so I think that's going to be a wrap. Today is Thursday, which is the 14th, which means there's still actually 24 hours, at least in Sydney time, for you to get in on the 600 subscriber giveaway, which will be running, of course, on the Gleam.io link, which I'll put in the video below. So if you haven't already entered that, please, by all means, check it out. Subscribe as an entry, as well as just visit one of our web pages, I think is what the other action is. And you'll be in the chance to win a 2016 Movember keycap. You're tired, huh? Have you had an afternoon nap? No? Okay. Well, with that, I think we're going to go. So thanks for coming along. And of course, as usual, until next time, happy clacking.